we'll call the August 3rd, 2017 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting to order. Commissioner Koger, would you lead us in a prayer and a pledge?
I will. Our Heavenly Father, please watch over our community, the homeless shelters, and those who are in the hospital for a speedy recovery. Protect us from all harm. We humbly thank you for all the gifts we receive from you. We ask that you watch over all those who protect us, especially those men and women who serve in our armed forces, law enforcement, fire departments, and all other emergency services. We ask for the wisdom, understanding, and courage to make right decisions for all of our citizens. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner, and once again I want to welcome everyone to our August 3rd, 2017 meeting. Jenny, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Item 1, consideration for approval, A, minutes of the July 20, 2017 court meeting.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, you've had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession. Do you have any questions of the Treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
C, fund transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Hendricks.
I request the authority to make the following fund transfers: $610,000 from the general fund to the bond fund for WKU building, $400,000 from the general fund to the road fund, $117,000 from the general fund to the bond fund for Series 2012A, and then from the jail fund, $371,000 to the bond fund 2012A. The 117s for the operations center, 371s for the detention center. These are normally scheduled fund transfers. They were budgeted. I request your approval.
Question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
D, annual treasurer's settlement for fiscal year ended June 30, 2017.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Hendricks.
We ended the fiscal year that ended June the 30th with total cash amount of $28,599,345. The general fund of that was $11,260,126. In addition to the regular monthly report that I give you, I am required by the state to prepare a settlement that ends the fiscal year. I've done that. It's included in the packet. There's a certification letter in the front where I certify how the basis of accounting that the statements are prepared on. I can attest that all cash balances are accurate. All cash has been followed to the bank, all reconciled, so there's no outstanding cash issues. All invoices were paid in a timely fashion. There are no negative consequences to the financial statements that I need to apprise the court of. The year-end financials did come within budget as we had anticipated, and so all the statements are here, and unless you have any questions, I submit this for your approval.
Question or comment, Commissioners? So what you're attesting to is that everything we're supposed to have is in the right place?
Yes, sir.
Hearing no further comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
E, KYTC master agreement with Eden Fence to repair old Highway 54 guardrail.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. County Engineer.
Yes, I'm asking approval to utilize the Highway Department's District 2 master agreement to repair some guardrail that was damaged by a vehicle accident a couple months back on old Highway 54. The estimate for that work is just over $6,300. I'd ask for approval.
Any question or comment?
Will we get that money back?
We are attempting to locate the crash report. Hopefully it's got It indicates damage to the guardrail, at which point we would go to their insurance company for reimbursement.
Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
F, OMU with Green River District Health Department regarding emergency support through EMA.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Andy, you want to tell us what this is about?
Yes, sir. This is a agreement between Green River District Health Department's Medical Reserve Corps, or MRC, with the Emergency Management Agency, stating that their volunteers, which are made up of medical and non-medical volunteers, would support us mostly for special needs sheltering, but other emergency support functions as well for 1 year. I
We've done-
recommend approval.
We've done this in the past.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no difference, no changes. Any question or comment?
Is this just, we do this each year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
G has been removed. H, declare a surplus miscellaneous dive and fire rescue equipment and donate same to the Henderson County Fire Department.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and, did I get a
Second.
second? Motion and a second. Chief, are you going to talk about this?
Yes, sir, Judge. A couple of years ago, we received some dive rescue equipment from at that time, the dive team through emergency management that was no longer in existence. This equipment is in disrepair. It hasn't been inspected in several years. We no longer have a dive team. We don't have the staffing, and we have an MOU with Henderson Fire Department. They respond if we need it here in the city or the county, and we want to give them the equipment. They can utilize what they can, and it's just in the best interest of everyone. We don't need it, and it's just going to deteriorate more.
Okay. Just a transfer from one government agency to another, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Any question or comment? Thank you, Chief. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I, appoint as viewers Terry Whitaker and John Phillips to view a portion of Old Wayne Bridge Road for discontinuance.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mark, were you going to talk about this, or really this is just a continuation of a piece of surplus property that we have had that we've been trying to get rid of for quite some time, and we're winding and wending our way through it. And the viewers, we have to appoint these viewers to look at it and make sure it doesn't impede or impact the public transportation network. Is that correct?
Yes,
That
sir.
is correct. It's a
Okay,
piece of the process.
right. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
J, award bid number 5, 2017 Judicial Center Family Court renovation.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. The fiscal court received one bid for the renovation of the family courtroom in the Judicial Center. Lanham Brothers Incorporated is the only bid submitted, meeting all expectations and bid specifications without exception. I have received a letter of approval from the Administrative Office of the Courts, who will reimburse fiscal court for this project. It is our recommendation to award bid 5, 2017 to Lanham Brothers in the amount of $432,985.
We're acting as the agent. We're going to send all the bills into them, make sure everything is proper, provide Joe Paul is going to kind of help oversee things, and they will reimburse us, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Claude, do you have anything to say?
No, Judge, other than we talked before that there was a little bit of less. That is not their full amount. We hope that we might be able to convince them to use that to pick up some of the cost of the waiting area and the filing room.
We, in effect, we had $600,000. We couldn't exceed $600,000. This
Correct.
is about 170. I think it would be prudent to put a little of that in reserve, because we always know that there are
Yes.
extras that show up. So I wouldn't spend the whole 170 on the extras that they want.
We had anticipated looking at 150,000, hoping that
Okay.
we might be able to work with
Okay.
that number at least.
Okay. Well, this reminds me of that road where that extra property we're trying to give away. This took a little while longer than we thought, didn't it?
It did, Judge.
But it's worth the wait.
I hope
think.
so, yes.
Yeah, I think so. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
K, release surety bonds for Brownwood Oaks Unit 1 sidewalks and Whispering Meadows, Section 4, Unit 2 streets.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Brasher.
Yes, Judge. Both developments have asked for release of surety for public improvements that have been installed. We have inspected. We approved those public improvements. I recommend approval.
Question or comment? Is that all the sidewalks in Brownwood? Or is it's not Brownwood Manor, it's Brownwood Oaks, or is that the same subdivision I'm thinking of?
It is that subdivision. This is Unit 1. They're currently working on Unit 2.
Is Unit 2 where the pine trees are located?
Yes.
Okay, so
This is Unit 1 down the street
that's
from
on the
there.
other side of them, yeah. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Judge, if I may I incorporate A through C of the next
You may.
2, consideration for appointment, A, Carol Alvey, B, Dr. Walter Marsh, and C, Chris Settles, to the Davis County Animal Control Board with terms 8/7/17 to 8/7/2021.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, as you would note, Carol Alvey is replacing Janie Robinson, and Janie served 2 terms, did a good job, and I'm sure that Carol will do a good job going forward. Dr. Marsh has served 1 term and is willing to serve another, and I appreciate his service. And Chris Settles also has served 1 term and is willing to serve another, and I want to say thanks to Chris for doing that. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
3 ordinances, A, second reading of KOC 220.26, 2017, 7/2017, amending an ordinance of the Fiscal Court of the County of Davis, Kentucky, authorizing and establishing a development area for economic and infrastructure development to be known as the Davis County Development Area Number 1, establishing the percentage of increment that the County of Davis will authorize each year, approving and authorizing the amount of increments to be authorized, including the authority to enter into local development area and to impose assessment fees on newly created jobs within said area.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. David, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, we discussed it at the last meeting as well, but this is the Glenmore warehouse property. They approached us when they were doing this project and asked us to create this special economic development zone so they could collect a full amount regarding the KBI program that the state does. So this is just changing the tax rate in that district.
To keep it the same as what the city of
As the ci-
Owensboro is charging, because they have some property that is already in the city of
correct.
Owensboro, and this makes the accounting easier, number one.
Would
Number
make the
2, they
accounting-
get a better, I don't want to call it a subsidy, but they get a better KBI
Right.
rebate.
And then we also get to replenish our economic
And
development.
we do, and that's the benefit. Approximately how many acres was involved? 10 to 12 acres?
Believe you're
Seems to
correct.
stick in my mind. The reason I ask, I had a citizen call today and asked why we were increasing the county occupational tax rate to 1.78%, and I said, we're not. He said, well, I read that Austin Ramsey story, and that's what it sounded like. And I said, well, being that Austin always is extremely concise and clear, it actually only applies to the 10 to 12 acres in that special assessment district, and he was satisfied with that. Any question or comment? 14. Thank you, Austin. I hope that you will have that in your story that's coming.
You know, Judge, the difference between what I said at 10 or 11 and his is a steep difference.
Yes, that's correct. Oh, yeah, well, that's just because he was skimming off the top. Any other question or comment? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And Austin, you have to admit that this is a fun court. No, absolutely not.
Seinfeld.
You would think that we wasted our time up here if we prepared it. Next item, Jenny.
B, second reading of KOC 921.672, 2017, 8/2017, and ordinance amending text in Article 5 of the OMPC ordinance.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, this is the text ordinance regarding what may or may not be placed in right-of-ways. I know that we had removed it originally when it was presented to us. We asked that Claude and Tara from OMPC and Pat Pace from OMU get together and kind of change the language, make it a little more friendly. They did that. I think all of you have agreed that it's a better ordinance. I noticed the city had their first reading. There was no comment or no question. Isn't that correct, Mike? Okay. So I appreciate the attention to those kinds of details that this commission has placed. And I also appreciate the willingness of OMPC and all the other players to try to make it a better ordinance. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
For consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Davis County Fiscal Court. I'm not aware of any.
Okay.
B, public comments.
This is a time during our meeting in which we ask the public to come forward, identify themselves at the podium, and you're welcome to speak on anything other than what was on the agenda. No public comment. Next item.
C, comments by Davis Fiscal Court.
Mr. Koger,
Pass.
you don't want to tell us why you got that set of crutches behind? Donna finally got even with you?
Yeah, it's those golden years, they call it.
Yeah, they're not so golden, are they?
They're not, no, sir.
Okay. Well, we hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Wathen.
Pass.
Commissioner Castlin.
Pass.
I only have one thing I'd like to say, and this is kind of a personal comment. Saturday, an OPD officer passed away. That officer was my brother-in-law, Tommy Brown. Tommy served OPD faithfully for 20 years. And he was the kind of guy that did whatever needed to be done and never complained about it. And I tell you, we need more folks like that. So to my sister Connie and to the rest of their family, I want to send the county's condolences. If there's no other business to be brought before Davis County Fiscal Court, without exception, we're adjourned.